Have a seat if you would, sir.
That's a lot of people.
Yes, it is. It's a little intimidating. All right, so before we kick it off to all of the beautiful people that are there, yes, take your time.
Taking
Too much
long.
fuss. Too much fuss.
Okay, I'm ready.
Wow. So because we have such a huge line, usually I ask you a question or two, but I think they're itching to get going.
We're
You
so
itching?
far away. This is really weird.
I'm so sorry. I can,
No, that's
let's be
fine. It's
close.
fine. It's just odd, isn't it? There we go.
I'm okay with it.
It's better. Okay, that's enough.
Shall we get going? All right, friends, let's go for it. Hi, you can please tell us your name, and then you can ask your question.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Hello, my name is Shay.
Hey, Shay.
And obviously you made a fantastic Neville Longbottom, but I was wondering if you could have been any other character in the Harry Potter movies, what character would you have chosen and why?
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, thank you for the compliment. That's very sweet. Everyone's been very nice here in Virginia, I must say. Everyone's very nice.
I'm from Maryland.
Yeah, it's very, thank you. What was the question? Yeah, no, I remember. Okay, yeah. I think that this kind of changes. I get asked this a few times before, and I change my answer several times. But I think, truthfully, watching Tom Felton and Jason Isaacs, and basically anyone playing a villain, you know, Helena and Rafe and all those guys, they had so much fun. And having played villains myself since Harry Potter, it is a lot of fun. and obviously with all those guys being incredibly nice, warm, beautiful human beings, it is very nice and a lot of fun to play something so contrasting to who you are in real life. And those guys did it so well. I would never dream of trying to do it myself. But if you've put me on the spot, I guess I'd probably want to have played one of the bad guys. I guess I'm a bit old to play Draco Malfoy now, but maybe Lucius. I can give that a go. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Hi, tell us your name.
Hi, my name's Kat, and I've been a huge fan of you and Harry Potter for a long time. I was actually in a play recently called Puffs, which is about like the Hufflepuff's perspective of everything that happened at Hogwarts.
Okay, that's cool. You know it when people have seen it. This is good.
My question for you today is, out of all of the Harry Potter movies, which one was your favorite to film and why?
I think I'm trying to pretend like I'm thinking about this. The Deathly Hallows Part 2 was my favorite to film. For various reasons, it was the one where I probably felt the most comfortable, not fully comfortable as an actor at the time, but probably I'm most comfortable throughout. You know, I was coming towards the end of the Harry Potter journey. I've been doing it for a long time at that point. The relationship between all of us and with David Yates was so strong by that point. You know, it was David's fourth movie, and just felt very, very comfortable. And you always want to feel like, as an actor, your character is taking a journey and is impacting the outcome of the story in some way. You know, there's a couple of films there where I felt a bit like window dressing at times. So it was nice to feel like Neville was having an impact. And yeah, I mean, I got to do stunts. I got to pull the Sword of Gryffindor out of the hat. And we got to really round off Neville's entire journey, which for me was amazing. I mean, Neville was someone I related to so much as a kid, and still do. And so to take his journey in the full arc and to get that finish where he is the hero, that was amazing. That was superb for both me as a person and as an actor.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Hi, tell us your name.
Hi, my name is Grace, and what is your favorite part of the movie, and why do you like it the most?
Oh, wow. Thanks, Grace. That tickled you, didn't it? Yeah. Okay, Grace. Let's think. My favorite part of them. I tell you what I like about the movies, and it's actually what I like the most about the books and the story in general, is what Jo did when she created this world, is that she put it right there within our grasp. You know, it's just behind the brick wall in London. It's right there. You know, 9 3/4 is just through the pillar. Diagon Alley is just through that wall, and there's something about that was always so tremendously exciting. Like, even the point is that when I was 11, I was hoping for that letter from Hogwarts. You know, it was like, because there's something about it that always feels like it's just there. And that was a place for me when I was younger. That, you know, school's a rubbish time for a lot of people for various reasons, and it was for me at times. And Harry Potter was always a place you could escape to and you could daydream about. And there was just something about it feeling so close that I really, really enjoyed. And I think she captured that really, really well. And I think a few people probably in this room think it could still just be through that pillar at King's Cross, you know? You don't want to let that idea go. And I love that about the stories in the books. So thank you, Grace.
Good job. Hi, tell us your name.
My name is Demetra. My question for you is, what is your favorite thing to do at Universal Orlando in both Wizarding World and the rest of the park?
I've been there so many times.
I know.
It's always like, woe is me. I've been to a theme park too many times. But seriously, I've been there a lot. My
And
wife
quite
used to work there, so I used to go down and visit her, which was annoying for her, I'm sure. But I went there recently. I was really hungover, and I went on Hulk, and that ruined me. And then I went on the Hagrid ride straight up. Don't remember a thing. No idea what happens on that ride. But I heard it was very good.
It was. We were there for opening, but do you have like one that stands out
Yes,
to
the
you?
question that you asked. Yeah.
Not to rush you. Take your time. Take your time.
I really. So you wanted the whole park. Well, Harry Potter, I like the Forbidden Journey just because that was the original and I'm in it. And
Yes,
it was just that was just something that blew my mind when I first saw it. That technology, you know, the ride itself and the screens and everything, that was just really, really special. And I'll never forget being there in, 2010 for the opening. That was incredible. 10 years ago, wow. And then in the whole park, probably The Mummy, I think, is my favorite.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you
think
so much.
Cheers.
Thank you. Hi, tell us your name.
Hi, my name's Kayla, and I wanted to know what your thoughts on the Fantastic Beast films are, and do you have a favorite character?
I haven't seen them.
I think you just broke a lot of hearts.
Oh, wow.
That's bad, isn't it? Sorry.
That's okay, thank you.
Well, I'll tell you this at least. While they were filming the first one, I did go down. I was going to the studio with a friend of mine who'd never been, and I took them down to the studio tour, and they were working obviously next door at the actual studio. And so I went down. It's all the same team: David Yates, David Heyman, all the gang. And so I went across to say hello, and I met Eddie Redmayne, who was incredibly charming. And really, really lovely. We talked about, you know, our films and his film, and it was a really pleasant experience. So yes, I haven't seen them, but Eddie's a great guy, and I fully believe that the series is in very, very safe hands with him. So I will see them at some point. Maybe I'm just waiting for them all to come out so I can binge them at the same time.
Thank you.
Hi, what's your name?
Hello, I'm Jenna. So my question has been seen a lot on many forums. What would you have done better as the chosen one?
Well, you're maybe a bit shortchanged. You'd have had less movies, I'm afraid, because I'd have got it done. Yeah. I'm taking 7 books. Come on, what's wrong with you, man? No, I don't know. I think, joking apart, I do think that Neville would have got the job done eventually. You might have actually got more movies. It might have been fun. I do think that his courage that showed in the last film was there. He might not have looked as good doing it, but I think he would have got it done. And that's what I've always loved about Neville in general, about his entire arc, his entire journey has always been that it might not have been pretty, but he did the job, and that's the most important thing. And yeah, I always like that about him.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hi, what's your name? Yeah, feel free to yank that down. There you go.
My name is Gwen.
Hello, Gwen.
Hello.
What's your question?
My question is, how did it feel when all of the movies were over and everything was done? How did it feel?
This is going to sound really awful, and I don't mean it this way, but it was liberating, which probably sounds like a negative, and I don't mean it in that way. I mean, it was the most amazing time. But I don't know if anyone's had a job for 10 years. It's a long time. How old are you, Gwen?
I'm 7.
Right. You see? I was working on that for longer than you've been alive. It was boring at the end. No, I'm kidding. I know it wasn't boring. It wasn't boring at all. But it was just, I was ready to do something else. And coming towards the end of those films, I think we all felt ready to do something else. And we felt very happy that our characters, the journeys that we were taking, came to a good end. I was happy with how Neville's story finished. And I was very happy to put it to bed. I think that if here 9 years later I hadn't done any other job, then I might have a different answer for you.
Okay.
But fortunately for me, I have done some other work, and so yeah, don't get me wrong, there was tears for a lot of people. It was sad because all of our friends were there, and we'd done it for a long time, and it was what we knew. But like you'll experience when you go up to high school and all the rest of it, it's a whole new world that opens up before you, and you shouldn't fear change. It's exciting.
Okay. Goodbye.
Thanks, Gwen.
Hi, what's your name?
Ooh, I'm going to break the whole thing. There we go. I'm Lara. This is Rebecca. She didn't want to ask her question, so I'm going to ask it for her.
Okay.
She was wondering, when you're actually watching the movies back yourself, what are your thoughts? Are there parts where you're saying, oh, I wish I would have done this differently, or hey, I actually did a really good job on this? Are you critiquing yourself when you're watching the movies back?
Yeah, and it's always the first one.
Is there a particular is there a particular scene when you went, man, I really screwed that up, or I really would have done that different?
Yeah. Yeah, lots of them. I mean, I'll be truthful. I've only seen them when they first came out at the premiere or whatever. That's like I saw it the first time, and then I've not seen them again. Wow. I was asked to voice the Lego Dimensions video game about 5 years ago. I was 25, and they said, "Can you come and play Neville Longbottom in the video game?" And I was like, "How old?" Like 14, 15. And I was like, "That was 10 years. I'm 25.
My voice has changed."
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
So I went home and I put the first film on. I was really enjoying it until I came on the screen. And no, done, turned it off, and I've not gone back to it since.
Wow.
So I had to use my imagination when I did the video game. I don't know if anyone's ever played it. They probably cut me out. I have no idea. So I did, yeah. Yeah, I hate it. I really, really, really struggle with it. But I truthfully don't watch anything that I've done. I might see it once, or at least just half of it. Like I did a show called Ripper Street, and I was doing a very different accent from my own. And so I think I watched like half of the first episode to see if I sounded absurd. And I was like, oh, it's okay. The accent's fine. Performance, yeah, the accent's fine. And then I can put it to bed, and I didn't watch the rest of it. Just because I'm so hypercritical of everything. I'm never happy. Nothing's ever, yeah, it was all right, that, ever. And Harry Potter especially, I just feel like I was so young and inexperienced that I really, really struggle with it. It's hard. Yeah, it's true.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you both. All right, let's see if we can truck this along so we can
Sorry,
get
I just
everybody.
stopped
Not
talking.
You. You're good.
Hi, my name is Abby, and my question is, out of everything, what do you think is the most important lesson that you learned from being Neville, and why?
Wow.
Sorry.
No, I mean it's an interesting question on two levels, because there's obviously like the message that Neville teaches. I think that Neville's story is a powerful one, and I think it teaches a lot about life and about growing up and all these kind of things. But also, like, I learned a lot just being an actor for 10 years on those films. I think with regard to Neville playing that role, what I learned was kind of what I alluded to earlier, that the biggest surprises can come in the smallest packages. You know, people can have the most humble beginnings, and it's meaningless at the end of the day. You know, what you can be and what you can achieve is not defined by where you came from and how you started. And I think that Neville really personifies that. He's someone that, if you stay true and loyal and just good, you know, good and kind and all the virtues, then it doesn't matter how humble your beginnings, you know, as long as you keep pushing forward. And I think Neville really personifies that, and that was a real honor to play. That and I mean it when I said that inspired me as a kid, and I am constantly humbled by other people who say they had a difficult childhood or whatever, and Neville helped them to grow past that. And that's brilliant. That's a testament to Joe, and I just feel very privileged that I was able to portray that on film. In terms of, God, I'm still talking.
That's what the people are here for.
In terms of acting, you know, growing up on a film set like that can be pretty daunting, and just doing my job in general can be pretty nerve-wracking at times. But there's one thing that I learned on those films, and there's one thing that I've learned especially since then, and I mentioned it to a couple of people today. And this is very difficult to remember, but it is so important if you can, is that nobody really has any idea what they're doing at any point in their life. Yeah. You know, I've gone in for auditions, I've got jobs, I've done plays and films or whatever, and you go in the room and you feel like, oh my God, everyone here is so amazing. Everyone knows what they're doing, they're on it, they're brilliant, and I'm just here just having a meltdown, just terrified, oh my God. And it's just not true. Everyone's having their own personal meltdown. They're just pretending that they know what they're doing, because everyone's making it up as they go along. And it's the most liberating feeling when you realize that, and you can openly talk about it, and other people go, oh my God, yeah, I'm just making it up as well. I don't know. And it feels great, because then you can learn together and you can work together, and it creates such a much safer and more enjoyable environment. And that's what I learned, that going forward in life, you should all know that we're all just trying our best. And that's it.
Thank you, that's awesome.
Thanks.
Hi, tell us your name.
Hello, I'm Morgan. Do you find yourself being typecast as Neville now, or do you think that film and TV, especially with the BBC, it's so diverse now that you don't have to worry about producers or casting agents just saying, oh, let's get Neville?
Well, since playing Neville, I've never played a wizard again. I've played a soldier, a policeman, and a sex offender. So I wouldn't necessarily say I was typecast. Neville, I assure you, was none of those things. So I feel very lucky. I think that we're very fortunate that the roles I've been given after Neville have been so varied. And, you know, that is, I guess, wasn't a real career choice. You know, I didn't specifically sit down with my team and say, hey, I never want to play anything that's remotely like Neville ever again. They're just the roles that came up and the ones that I was the most interested in. They were roles that I just found that had something that I could get my teeth into, really. And so they're the ones that I took. And I guess I just want to thank you guys, the viewers at home, for going along with me on those journeys and believing in those characters. I feel very fortunate that I was able to do things so differently. Yeah. Was that your question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank
good.
you.
Thanks.
Good one. Thanks. Hi, tell us your name.
My name is Sydney, and I wanted to tell you that I got into Harry Potter because my grandmother just handed me the book. But when you were filming the films, did you feel that the adult actors and actresses, they were there to help and guide you and kind of mentor you to help you in each film?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we'd ever asked, they would have, without a shadow of a doubt, been the first people to lend a hand and help out and do whatever it took. They were incredibly warm and friendly and accessible in that way. And that thing I mentioned earlier about how no one knows what we're doing, we're all making it up, is that came from those guys. From them admitting that kind of stuff. They were overawed by it as much as anyone, and that's incredible that they were so open about that with us. But truthfully, they treated us from day one like their peers, which is mental, really, isn't it? Because we were like 11 years old, and they were Alan Rickman and Maggie Smith and Ray Fiennes, but they truly did. They treated us like their peers, and there was no, the director directs actors, or the actors don't direct other actors. It's just not done, and they just didn't do that. Now, if I'd gone up to them and said, "Hey, look, I'm really struggling with this. Can you help?" They would have been the first to say, "Absolutely, come to my trailer, let's do it." But they never presumed, because they went, "No, these kids are actors just like we are," and I will never forget that. I mean, that was incredible. They were never patronizing, they were never condescending, never at all, ever. And I will never forget that. They were an amazing bunch of people.
Thank you. And thank you for you being Neville and all your other characters.
The pleasure was all mine.
Hi, tell us your name.
Hi, my name is Kaya. If you were to see a Dementor right now, what would it be and why?
This question. No, I'm kidding. It's a good question. What am I terrified of? That is what they do, right? I'm not that's boggart. No, but Dementors, don't they, like, what are they?
Oh, snap. I haven't seen the movies in forever, so.
Is that, have I changed your question, or is that what you wanted to ask?
No. You could change it.
No, I don't want to know. Is it? No. Did you mean, so you said Dementor, right?
Yes.
Is that's what you meant?
I meant boggart.
Oh, you did mean that?
Yes.
Oh, I feel like I've changed. I feel bad now. I feel like I've pressured you to change your question.
No, that's what I meant.
Okay. Promise?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Then it's spiders. Oh, lots of them. I'm terrified of spiders, cripplingly afraid. There is very few things that I am really afraid of, to be honest. Like, I'm not scared of heights. I'm not scared of snakes, rats, anything like the most common fears. Spiders scare the crap out of me. Like bad, cripplingly afraid. I mean, I've been trapped. I've been held hostage in my kitchen by a spider before, and they say they don't know. They say they're more scared of that's no. No. They know full well what they're doing. And I'm terrified of them.
Thank you.
Thank you for your honesty. Hi, what's your name?
My name's Allison. I just want to say I've been a fan since like 2nd or 3rd grade.
How old is that?
I was
No, yeah, 2nd or 3rd grade. 7. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I was about 7 or 8. And what is your Hogwarts house outside of the movie?
I'm a Hufflepuff.
Yay, so am I!
Yeah. Are you a Hufflepuff as well?
Yes, I'm also a Hufflepuff.
Cool. I was disappointed at first. Hang on. But then I found out Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is a Hufflepuff.
Wait, he is?
He is.
I had no clue, honestly.
And I thought, hey, can't be bad.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty proud of it now. Yeah, and last I heard, he's pretty proud of it himself. So, Hufflepuff.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Hi, tell us your name, and yeah, feel free to adjust the mic as you need.
Hi, my name is Bethany.
Hi.
I'm a big fan. I love you and like Bluestone 42 and everything like that.
Thanks.
My question is, Harry Potter has a lot of amazing quotes that like tug at heartstrings for a lot of different people. What is a quote from Harry Potter out of any of the books or movies that is probably one of your favorites? or a scene if you can't remember since you haven't
Thank
seen it
you.
in so long.
You're the best.
I'll cry about that later.
Well, you know, I have more. I guess this will probably be similar for you guys as well. It's more, I do vividly remember feelings more than the actual words or whatever. I remember scenes that made me feel a certain way rather than the specific wording of the quotes and things. Like, I remember I'll say a couple. The scene in Half-Blood Prince when he's like force feeding Dumbledore all the water. I was like, "Whoa, that's heavy."
Yeah.
I remember how that made me feel. That was grim. And then I remember when the shield went up in the last film. That was the last film, right? Yeah, when the big shield went up, and that gave me goosebumps. And I remember that being pretty cool. But the one scene that absolutely, and it's again the last movie that is like etched into my mind, is when Snape buys it, when he gets and I just remember it being shot so well, and Alan Rickman is just so amazing in that whole scene, and it was genuinely tear-jerking. It was a really incredible moment. So I remember enjoying that a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. And that wasn't a spoiler for anyone, right? Okay. Just checking. Hi, guys. Tell us your name.
He's not asking a question.
Sure.
Oh, what's your name?
I'm Patrice. So a similar question to earlier. How do you think it would have impacted Neville's life had he been the chosen one?
You guys are stretching me here. I tell you what. How would it have impacted Neville's life? He'd have been quite busy, wouldn't he? A lot going on.
Yeah.
I mean, for a start, he wouldn't have had to go look into someone else for the gillyweed because he already knew all that stuff. So that would have helped. Like, did Harry ever even read a book in that film? Like, what else would have been different? I really would have been interested to see how Neville would have coped with someone trying to kill him every year.
Yeah.
And that would have been quite interesting to see how he got out of those scripts. I think his gran might have given him a bit more of a break, maybe. Yeah. Got off his back a little. Probably not. I don't know. How do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like...
It's difficult, isn't it?
I mean, I feel like your answer's pretty accurate.
Thank you. That's all I've got.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Hi, go ahead and, tilt the whole thing up. There we go.
Yeah, I'm a bit tall. My name is Liam, and my question is about Philosopher's Stone.
Okay, good luck.
All right. Why was Neville cut out of the the forest scene? It was Ron instead.
I don't know.
Because in the book, it's Neville, and Neville's just a better character.
Okay. Oh. Yo. That is controversial, but I'm not going to deny it. That is a good question. I don't know. I don't know why they cut Neville out of a lot of things. I guess just for the main three. I guess the cohesion of those three becoming friends and going off to the forest. And there's a few points where Neville's kind of omitted from a couple of big moments, but that's fine, I know it was definitely later on. David Yates, I think, had a real affinity for Neville. I think he related to Neville in a lot of ways, and we talked at length about the character, and it was really David that was passionate about bringing Neville more to the foreground in the movies. Starting with the fifth film, and I definitely remember having the conversation with him when he had all these ideas, and even, for example, the Room of Requirement, not the Room of Requirement, the St. Mungo's scene with Neville's parents that we were desperate to get in, and we ended up putting it into the Room of Requirement instead, where we talked about it. It was something that David was so passionate about, and just because of the way cinema works and because of timing and scheduling and all this kind of thing, it just got away from us. But I mean, there must have been about 4 or 5 occasions where David came up to me throughout the shoot saying, we're working on it, we've written this scene, it's going to be amazing. Oh, it's getting away, we're going to keep going, I think we're going to get there. And then just slowly, it just kept getting away and we never got to shoot it, unfortunately. But I remember David was pretty upset about that. He wanted that to be in the film. And so really it was David that made Neville as prominent as he ended up being towards the end of the movies, for sure. I mean, obviously, he's quite a big bit of the last book, so had to put him in there somewhere. But yeah, it was, I think he got shortchanged in the early movies.
Thank you, Matthew.
Thanks.
Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, not tall. My name is Maya, and my question is, if you could be a part of any live-action remake, like from an animated movie or another book, which remake would it be?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I mean, they've made them all. They're like everything that I like have read and loved, and like they've done them all. Let me think of something really obscure.
We could do another one.
Train spotting. Did someone just say? Is that what someone said? Jeez. No. I mean, it's a great film, but I don't want to do that. Let's think. It's a book that do you know what? Actually, I've not even seen it either, which is really bad of me. But one of my absolute favorite book series was The Witcher. And I will watch it, of course. I'll get around to it eventually. But that was my absolute. You know, when I was a kid, it was sort of Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and that kind of thing. But as a young adult, which I'm not anymore. I'm just an adult now. But when I was a young adult, 5 years ago, The Witcher was my favorite book series, and so that was something that I would have liked to have been involved in. I guess that they're making another one, right? They're making a series 2, so who knows? Yeah, we'll see.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks. Hi, what's your name?
Bailey. So I really like Neville, but I want to know who.
No, but what do you mean? No,
I want to know who your favorite Harry Potter character is.
Good save. Who's my favorite character? I think Professor Lupin. Yeah. Don't know why. I just think he was quite nice. The werewolf thing was pretty cool. I like that, and I like that whole the whole analogy that Joe put behind that. I thought it was very, very interesting, and I thought David Thewlis was wonderful. I thought he played him so well, and yeah, he was just a character in the book that I really enjoyed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hi, what's your name? We're gonna see if we can get through everybody.
Hi, I'm Connor.
Hi.
Sorry, give me a second.
You all right?
Okay. So, as you may know, there's many schools throughout the world of,
As
Harry
I know.
Potter.
As I know that.
So, like, what if someone's life, like Harry Potter, we went understanding that person's life in somewhere like Germany? Do you think the J.K. Rowling or the producers that made the Harry Potter movie should do that again with someone who's in a different place, different country, showing it around the world is not just that one place that's special. Like, every place in the world is special.
Yeah.
Around that same degree.
Yeah, I hear you. I think it's a great question, and I completely agree. Although I would say that it doesn't necessarily have to be within the school setting. But I think you're absolutely right. I think that the universe that Joe created is so vivid and so enormous that with the films that we did, and obviously I don't know about Fantastic Beasts, but I feel like we've barely scratched the surface of this world. And I remember when I was reading the books, some of the most exciting moments when they kind of touched on like the vampires in Transylvania and all this kind of stuff, and then as I mentioned, the werewolves and all this kind of like the darker world that exists beyond the safety of Hogwarts. And I thought, absolutely. Do you know, I had this idea recently. I was talking to someone, like not just in my spare time, like I was a show like this. Like, I don't just think of Harry Potter ideas that I should, like TV shows in my spare time. So I thought, the reason I said that is because I don't want you thinking that I'm just sitting at home coming up with ideas I'm going to pitch to Warner Brothers. Like, you know what I mean? It was an idea I came up with at one of these shows. And I said, why imagine if they did like a police procedural drama, but with the auras. And so it's like CSI, but with the auras. And they're all investigating like stuff, like vampires and... I keep saying vampires and werewolves because I can't remember any of the bad guys, but, wouldn't that be awesome? And they could do that in any country in the world. They could be traveling all over, and they could set it somewhere else in Europe. They could set it in Asia. They could be over this way. Like, it could be... I think that'd be a great idea. And I think that seeing more of the world of Harry Potter, the genuine world of Harry Potter, would be incredibly useful. And I think that it's all in Joe's head, ready to go anyway. So I think that would be cool.
All right,
guys, we have time for a few more, so let's
man.
see how
I'm gonna
quickly
answer
we can do it.
faster.
Hello, my name is Christina. I'd say it's a very special honor to meet you, Matthew. It's so cool. Actually, my dad punished me when I was little, and my punishment was to read the book.
Okay.
And after that, I was hooked. But my question is, when you were filming the movies, did you know the outcome? Like, did you get to read the books before you showed the movies and like knew what was going to happen?
Yes and no. I mean, I got to read the books, but only the ones that were out at the time. I was a bookshop with everyone else getting the books as they came out. I didn't get an advance copy of the 7th book. I didn't even get a copy of the 7th book. I had to go bloody buy one. So, yeah, I mean, I read it at the same time as everyone else. So when you guys found out what the films were going to be like, that's the one I found out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Perfect. All right. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Willa. I met you.
Yes.
Yeah. I had no idea what to say, so I just kind of mumbled. Sorry about that.
It's all right. Now's your chance.
2 quick things. Number 1, I am actually dressed as Lupin from when he went to Hogwarts.
Very cool. You've got the...
Yeah, I have to wear glasses because I'm blind, so
Okay.
But my question was, what has been like one of the weirdest thing a fan has asked you to do? I try to ask this to as many people as I can because the results are hilarious.
Do you know what? I don't really get... I mean, this is not like me requesting, but I don't get many weird fans, which is really nice. Everyone seems like really normal. Someone did ask me to sign a potato once.
I think that counts.
Yeah, I think that might count.
Yeah, it was pretty weird.
Yeah.
I mean, only in terms of that, like, I was like, this is eventually going to rot and be disgusting. But that's what they wanted. So I signed it, and off they went with the signed potato. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, let's get to it.
Hi, my name is Alexa, so insert Amazon joke here. So first of all, my fiance and I got engaged at Harry Potter World.
And he's called Alex, right?
Yeah.
Alex and Alexa, how good is
over
that?
There. So it's awesome that you're a fan of the theme parks as well. So my question is, out of all the books the parts of the books that didn't get to make it into the films, what was one scene that you would have wished would have made it to the films? And in the films,
I know this one.
What is a, and in the films, what is one scene that you were a part of that you were like, oh, I'm having a bad time?
Okay, well, the one I already mentioned, the St. Mungo's hospital scene with Neville's parents. That I really wish we would have been able to do that.
Oh, same.
I think it was so crucial to Neville's entire story, his entire journey, the reason he is as he is, and why he ended up going on to do what he did. His loyalty, his bravery, all that comes from his parents, and I would have liked to have shown that. Yeah. Putting that into a 10-second scene in Room of Requirement was very difficult. I had a lot of pressure doing that scene. I was very hungry. I hadn't eaten well that day. And I'll never forget it. I thought it was a terrible job that I did. In terms of I'm having a bad time, any Quidditch Tri-Wizard tournament being in the stands. Awful. There's nothing happening in front of you. We're in a room just like this that is empty. There's just green screen everywhere. And we've got a guy with a big stick and a tennis ball at one end. And he's just running around the room. And you've just got Mike Newell in my ear going, be scared. Be excited. No, more excited. Put your back into it, man. Awful. Awful.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Hi, tell us your name.
You can pull up that mic.
Please adjust.
I wanted to bend over.
Go.
My name is David, and my question is, I always wanted Neville to have a crack at Bellatrix and not Mrs. Weasley.
Oh, yeah?
What are your thoughts on it?
I hear you. I don't disagree, but I do enjoy that was taken out of Neville's hands. Obviously, I think in terms of vengeance, like, I'm a wet liberal, sorry. I think that vengeance isn't particularly the healthiest thing, and so I think that it would have been, I think it was better for the story that responsibility was taken away out of Neville's hands, and she got her comeuppance, but it's that Neville didn't have to get his hands dirty in doing it. He's better than her, and he's better than that, and I thought that was a nice end for him. I mean, he killed like 100 guys on that bridge, but whatever. Like, Thanks.
All right, here's our last question.
Oh,
Thanks,
it's
friends.
you.
Hey, Matt.
Hi.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Matt and I go way back, 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So I'm reading the Harry Potter books for the first time with my girlfriend. I read them out loud to her. I do voices for each of the characters. They're all dumb, so don't get excited. Like, they're not good, but they're all dumb. Harry's Sonic the Hedgehog, and Voldemort is Elvis Presley. And I realized, yeah, what?
Go on.
But you want?
Uh-huh.
Yeah? Okay. So everyone knows that famous graveyard scene, right? That I can touch you now. But it's like, oh Harry, I can touch you now. And he like.
That's great.
So, but I realized while I was talking to you earlier, I don't have a voice for Neville.
Yeah.
What? I asked you, and you've had time.
Yeah. I've been a little busy, mate.
Yeah. No, see. Yeah, solution's not excuse.
I like you.
Yeah. What voice should I do for you in honor of you? This is your voice for Neville that you want me to do specifically.
You see, I was kind of torn, right, between a voice that would probably suit the character and then a voice that was just quite cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sort of went somewhere in the middle that I kind of think was the guy himself, as part of the group that he is in, was kind of a bit like Neville. But he's also pretty cool. This is Paul McCartney. So can you do Paul McCartney?
I hate to disappoint you.
I mean, you know who he is, right?
Of course I know who he is. I wouldn't be here if I didn't know who he was. But I can't do a Paul McCartney.
Just do a soft Scouse accent, Liverpool accent.
I can't even do that. I can barely talk anyway.
Well, talk like that,
All right.
All right, John.
I don't know. Is it, like...
Go on.
Like, hey, Ron. Like...
Oh, yes!
Yeah.
Amazing! That's it. That's it. That's what I want.
You got it.
That's the one, now.
All right. You're the man.
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney. Yeah, exactly. All right, well, thank you so much for having me up here, and you're great, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Your daughter's very lucky.
All right, friends. So before we take a group photo, which of course we like to do at the end of these, can we first please give a huge round of applause, because thank you so much for your time, for being here. Right. It's truly been an honor, and for all of us, thank you for your time and for just joining us here today.
I am exhausted. You guys really tired me out with those questions, I tell you what.
Good.
Yeah, but no, that was amazing.
Really
Thank you so much, guys. You're far too kind.